Welcome back to Project Fast Fish here on Mike's Motorworks, and we're going to try to get things wrapped up on the shell in the next few episodes. But before that all begins, well, need to have a quick chat. You don't want to miss it. It all happens right now here on Project Fast Fish and Mike's Motorworks. So I wanted to take a quick moment to open this video up to have, well, a quick chat, all right? It's not really a dialogue because you're not really talking back and forth, and it's not a conversation because two people got to be involved in the conversation, all right? So call it a monologue, call it dialogue, call it whatever you want, all right? But it's not really a build update. It's just me talking to you directly about where this channel is and where things are going. So Project Fast Fish and Mike's Motorworks has been really on YouTube since COVID. And if you're thinking COVID, man, that's been a while ago. Well, you're absolutely right. It started as a way to document the restoration of Project Fast Fish and document its journey while giving some how-to things along the way. I learned and you learned with me. And you guys have really stuck around, all right? Especially those subscribers and those guys who've been watching every single video. And for one, I really appreciate it. And I appreciate that love. And I hope to continue to do these things as we roll forward in the future. But here's the real part of it, all right? And I'm not going to use the word honest because then I would say I'm lying half the time. So here's really where things stand. Building a car like this and finding things to produce for the show costs money. And running a YouTube channel to produce episodes costs money. And right now, we've reached a point where we need to be smart about what we're doing, all right, and where the energy goes. This summer, the primary goal is to go ahead and finish the shell. And we're going to deliver that in 4 different parts, which we'll showcase here soon. The content is going to be some of the best that we've produced here, so I hope you stick around for that. After that, well, this channel is going to go on a planned hiatus. It's not a goodbye. It's not a see you later. It's not that's all you get, folks. No, it's a pause because I want to come back with the funding and the parts we need, because you guys don't deserve to see little things here and there and what have you. And quite frankly, people don't watch that. They want to see the final assembly. And that's what I promise to you, is to get there. So I want to pick up where we left off because you deserve the best. So that's what I'm asking right now, okay? Even after this summer series is done and it's over with, please stay subscribed, all right? And if you're finding this channel for the first time, go back and watch. I'll even leave a playlist right above, right? But go back and watch how I've learned things. And quite frankly, that's the goal here, okay? If I can do it, you can do it. And then when we come back, we're going to finish the build, all right? We're going to get this thing rolling because we got suspension, we have an engine ready to go, we got a transmission that just needs to be freshened up, all right? And we need to start putting things together to get this thing as a roller finally ready for paint and body. When we come back, I want to share these things with you, and that's a promise. So as always, if I can do it, you can do it. Now let's get to work. So right before we get to work, we're going to divide this series into 4 different parts. Part number 1 is going to be about the seams. We got some seams that usually receive some lead, but we're going to do something a little bit different. Then after we get that done, we have some fenders that need some love, some patch repairs that need to be done behind the wheel wells, and a patch repair and a panel repair right there on the top where the fender itself is on the top bezel as it rolls down. And then finally, the last 2 parts. We need to get some bed liner under here, some Raptor liner, to make sure this thing is protected for everyday driving. And for those that have their own opinions on bed liner and such, that's fine. I have nothing to hide because you've seen the work. And this thing is going to be driven every day. I don't want it to rust again. And of course, finally, we need to get the shell covered in epoxy primer. That way it can stay well in its process for getting ready for, well, final paint and body. So let's go ahead and get this started. Now, on the E-body, there are 3 seams that they made on these cars. Now, understand this was a time and a place before they started using a lot of plastic trim to cover up the seams, okay? Now, on our E-body, we got a seam up here on the A-pillar. We got a seam down here where the rocker panel meets the rear quarter, and of course, where the roof skin matches and laps up here. All right, and that's where we're going to spend our time and attention up here, showing you what we're doing. Now, there's a lot of different options for this. You can either lead the seams, or you could do some filler work, or you can do something a little different. Now, as far as leading is concerned, yeah, that's the way they did it, old school way, all right? And there's nothing wrong like that. In fact, if you want to learn how to lead, I highly recommend watching Rust Bucket Restos do their work and some leading. In fact, I'll go ahead and leave their link to a leading video down below because his work is just that good. And where I learned a lot of the information from and build my confidence for working on Project Fast Fish. Now, I'm not going to lead, so that means I have to do one of 2 other things. Use body filler or do something else. So let me show you why maybe using a lot of body filler isn't the answer here. If you haven't heard yet, Mike's Motorwear just went live on Etsy, and it's a great place to find the gear that fuels your soul. There are several different concepts available right now and several different designs, but the latest in the collection is Fuel in My Blood, Fire in My Soul. This shirt right here. It's available in different colors and different sizes, so make sure you check it out. And of course, we have multiple different designs dropping regularly, like this shirt right here. Work hard, play harder. These designs are great. And the cool thing is I realize that not everybody likes their designs on the front. Some people like their designs on the back. So those are options available for you. I got front designs, back designs, long sleeve, short sleeve. I wanted to make it available for you guys to pick what you wanted. Again, getting that gear that fuels your soul. If you want to show off your love for cars, automobiles, and being a gearhead, that's your place to go. Again, mikesmotorwear.etsy.com. Use the link I provided for you. Now, I understand that with this camera angle, it's going to be kind of hard to see the point I'm trying to make, but we're going to make the best of it anyways because it does prove a point. All right, I'm going to run a piece of tape across here where the body filler or the lead would go. Now, there's a little bit of a ridge here, so it would actually be thicker than this to kind of match the seam here and to round it off very nicely, make it like it's one thing. In fact, the body filler would probably go all the way up into here and about down into here. But right here in the middle of that gap, there is a lot of body filler. In fact, if you were to measure that out, that's nearly 1/4 of an inch of body filler here. And using 1/4 an inch or more in body filler, that ain't good. Why isn't it good? Well, it's about the moisture, which we've kind of combated here with the epoxy primer, okay? And will be combated with the epoxy primer, and it's going to have more epoxy primer on that. Well, that's fine, but then what about the heating of the metal and the contracting of the metal? You see, as metal heats up, right, it expands. As it cools down, it contracts. Not a whole lot where you can visually see it, but that will eventually crack the body filler. That's why they don't recommend more than 1/4 inch body filler, because it will start cracking under. Now, yes, we are going to have a vinyl top back on here. Yes, it's going to have epoxy primer. But we don't want that cracking. We don't want to have to go back and redo something we've already did. So maybe there's something different that we can do. We're going to have to film things just a little bit differently because while I remembered most of my supplies at the house, I did leave my camera. Well, amateur mistake, what you going to do? All right, so the first thing that I've already had and done is I went ahead and took care of the welds that were sticking out or rising up. So I just ground them down. They're not perfectly flat, but I just grounded them down, right? And that leaves me with a pretty good surface from which I can base my template on, and then go from there. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab a roll of masking tape, and I'm gonna do a cross hatch. I'm gonna do this in 2 different layers. I'm gonna do one layer where the tape is going this direction, okay, up, matching, and then I'm gonna do another layer where it's 45 of that. That'll give me 2 layers of tape, because that's gonna serve as my base template. I'm then gonna go ahead and draw with my Sharpie a line here and a line on the bottom here where it bends over, and that's where my metal is gonna fit up in there. Here we go. You can see I got 1 layer ran there, and nothing really fancy here, nothing really too confusing. I just simply ran the tape in about every half tape light, ran another one, every half one, ran another one, ran another one. Doesn't have to be perfect, just needs to be on there. And the objective is that you're trying to fill in the indentations here as much as you can, because this will eventually serve as your template. Nothing fancy here. You can see that all I've done is just simply ran a cross. I went ahead and ran at 90 against each other. You can run at 45, you can run at 90, you can run whatever you want to. Now, if you're looking at this thing going, ew, Mike, why on earth did you use so many different color ugly marks on this thing? Well, there's 2 reasons for that. One, the Sharpie was not sharp, it was kind of dull and old. So then I went over it with a pen, which had too much paint and was not precise enough with the paint pen. So then I went back and said, okay, let that dry, and then go over it with a marker, I'm sorry, not a marker, but a pen, and boom, there you go. All right, so I'm gonna do this for both sides, and then we're gonna go ahead and start trimming the metal here for the lines, all right, so that it can fit in here. So all we've done now is just simply made a template. Here we have our templates made, and I'm going to go ahead and cut the inside. For this, you can do whatever you want to. If you want to use a cutoff wheel, have at it. If you have a nibbler, have at it. If you have scissors or a shear, have at it. Whatever you're doing, though, you're basically trying to cut the inside here. After cutting your template out, obviously, you want to make sure it fits well, then you can just weld it in. You can see what the basic objective is here, right? You basically put your plate over, and then you weld in. And of course, if you have any grinding to do, you can grind those off. You can grind those off smooth, etc. if you wanted to. I'm just probably going to grind them a little bit, but the body filler is not going to raise over that, maybe in like one spot where it was a little high. But overall, you can see what the objective is here. You're just creating a plate to go over that sinking area. You can see now that there is a lot less to fill in. You're no longer going to be at that 1/4 inch that you were initially, and you're going to be closer to that 1/8 inch. In fact, probably even less than an 1/8 inch if you cut your metal and did it correctly here. And that's exactly what we're looking at. So before we go to the next segment, I just wanted to show you guys this, because this is just easier to show here. You can see what our basic theme is. You saw it in the previous shot, but basically here we're doing the same thing. We basically just cut out a sheet of metal, right? A plate, if you will, and then we make it so that it fills the gap, so that when we put our body filler on there, not lead, we can go ahead and make sure that it is within that 1/8 tolerance. And I'm trying to show the angles here so that you can see that the welds themselves, if you get this lined up here, this camera's not good for zooming in, but the welds don't poke out of the sheet metal, right? So we made sure that everything was within the confines of the metal here. And yeah, I think that's going to be nice and strong. And so strong, say, that some might argue that might even be better than the weld filler with the resin and so on and so forth on there, or the lead filler, excuse me. So there you go. That is our little trick. And only thing we need to do is just prime that up and go ahead and seal that. And then we can put our filler on there and move forward.